What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now, in the last episode of Breaking Bad, we left off seeing basically two separate storylines being told with both Walt and Jesse. Now, obviously, with Walt, he's doing more of his lies and deceits and everything towards his wife, doing everything he can to throw her off his trail because he is doing bad things and he's not stopping. But yeah, that's the usual that's been going on for pretty much since season one. Now, the most interesting one in the last episode was really Jesse because, we remember episode before Walt gave him that gun and told him to handle the situation. And we pretty much know what he meant by that, as in, like, get their money back or get their dope back and use whatever means is necessary to get it. And we see a more human side with Jesse, obviously, and how he stumbles across this small child that looks like he's no more than 2 years old or so, living in the most horrible conditions that you could ever imagine for a child. A whole pigsty for a house, and two very unqualified parents. Both meth heads and junkies and everything. But yeah, that was a pretty hard episode to watch when it got to that section. But yeah, we see, like I said, we see a more human side of Jesse. He feels bad for the kid, obviously, and he's upset that those parents don't actually put in no effort to make that house more livable for that kid. And we pretty much see how that ended, though, because towards the end of the episode, he calls the cops and then lays the kid outside and tells him, stay here, have a good life and all that, because we hear the police sirens in the background coming. We know they're coming because they're going to pick up the kid, and then they most definitely arrested the wife for not only murder, but also, supplements abuse and all that, and then, like that child endangerment and all that. But yeah, it was a great last episode, so now we're going to go on ahead and jump right on into this next episode of season 2, which is episode 7, which has a very interesting title, Negro, why Azul, something like that. That last one was kind of hard, so I'm going to go on ahead and jump right on into this next episode, and off we go. So it was pretty much a song about how Walt, nah, that was a pretty interesting intro, though. It was pretty much a song about how Walt is now making a bigger name for himself, and a lot of people are being left dead in his wake. And at the same time, it seems like they're after him because of his actions that he's caused. This man got his phone in his lab, his school lab. Oh, man. Oh, Walt, what are you doing? You put that man through all that just to say let it go? Man, it's been like a whole day or two. He put Jesse through all that stress just to say let it go.
Come on in.
So you wait to come. Both these guys are weird. He must was listening at the door.
I mean, did he really?
Oh, did they hear about that? Oh no.
You didn't hear that from me.
Walt wrong for that. He wrong for putting Jesse's name on that. Like, I get the play he's trying to do, though. Like, because Jesse did that because he wanted his stuff back, is going to intimidate other people that don't pay their money or whatever. Just basically an intimidation thing. Not just intimidation, but a real life drug seller who actually takes people out that don't give him what he wants. Like, You know, it's a scare tactic that Walt's trying to use to his advantage. Okay, I see. It seems like maybe she's trying to get a job, an extra job, so, you know, both her and Walt can have jobs and maybe kind of bump their money up some.
With the blowfish, Jesse. No, buddy. You're damn right.
Trying to gas them up.
Hey man, you're pink. Oh, man, everybody's been talking about you.
Uh,
Not all, man. Keep it real.
Shouldn't have been out while people were driving through. Well, I guess you could say it's a middle name. That's a head. Yo. That was a severed head. Oh my God. Yeah, you could tell that Hank ain't used to this. Like the shootout and then dismembered body parts and all that.
Welcome to...
Oh my God. That thing exploded. Yo, this show is actually really violent. Wasn't this on like a regular program or something? Like, how in the world were they able to show all this? I thought you'd have to be licensed by like a big TV network or something like a HBO or something in order to show that type of gore and all that.
Cheddar, Mr. White, fat stacks, fat presidents. Cash
You got to
money.
use simple words for Walt because he's on the older side of words.
What?
Corner the market, then raise the price. Simple economics.
We should have lunch one day. At old times.
All right, buddy. Hold your horses. That's a married woman.
Oh, hey.
Hey yourself.
Dad.
So you just being honest?
You're not gonna kick me out, are you? 'Cause I actually like it here.
Oh, she got every reason to.
Get my business what you do. So long as you don't do it here.
Acquire satellite signal is still searching for a service. That's funny. Dang music. Get that down. Get that down. Get that down. Look like Jesse is betraying his other girl. What was her name? That crackhead lady. I guess maybe they weren't really together though, because you know that was just a little side piece that he had. But yeah, it seems like Jesse's kind of starting to build it some with the house lady, the house seller. But yeah, there was a good lot of things going on in this episode. For starters, the whole Hank stuff, like, oh my God, man, that severed head part, like, I'm trying to think, in those war shows that I watched, Band of Brothers and The Pacific, did we ever see a severed head in either of those? We saw a lot of dismemberment with, like, legs and arms and all that, but I'm just trying to think, has there ever been a severed head? I can't remember, but man, that was crazy. I ain't gonna lie to you. I kind of felt like Hank a little bit on that. My stomach started getting a little weak, but yeah, there's a really good episode. You know, it's setting up a lot of things for a lot of characters. Obviously, with Walter trying to build and expand his operation to newer territories, and Jesse, you know, trying to tell him that it's not a good idea because rival gangs and other sellers and all that wouldn't like that and all. And then, you know, we also got like Walt's wife, obviously trying to get back into a job to help support the family because, you know, obviously they're low on change and they need it. And it's pretty understandable motive because, you know, it's they're down, you know, they're down to their scraps now. Obviously, she doesn't she thinks that, at least. Obviously, Walter doesn't think that, but regardless, you know, we're seeing pretty much how everyone's going through their little side stories and their own stories individually and everything. I'm not gonna lie, the whole Hank stuff actually got a lot more interesting just because he's now in a new area, an area he's not familiar with. And you know, he's not the big dog anymore. You know, in his old spot, he was the bigger man who could make everyone laugh and was the star of the show. But now he's down there at the Mexican department and all that, I believe. And you know, he's gone back down to being the little fish again. You know, he's the new guy. He's the guy that can't make the jokes and make everyone laugh. Now he has to fall in line with everyone else. So that's a pretty good storyline that we're following at the moment. But yeah, other than that, you know, really good episode. A lot of things brought to the table with everyone. Like I said, the most majorest parts, obviously, with Jesse now supposedly being a well-known enigma, a figure amongst the competition everywhere, understanding that he was the one that took out that crackhead and got the other lady arrested or whatever. But yeah, we're seeing pretty much how he now has a new reputation as a killer, basically, and we're going to see where that goes from here on out, whether if it proves to be the advantage that Walt think it does or whether it doesn't. But yeah, a lot of good things in this episode and a lot of things in general that makes Breaking Bad in general just a great series so far. But, you know, with that being said, make sure you like the video, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next one.